before this video starts, I'm basically going to be sort of going off on a tangent, unscripted here and there, and this video is not going to be edited in any way apart from like the gameplay. So yeah, and also I will not be editing up my stutters or anything like that. So you're gonna have to deal with that. So I'm not bothered. But I will be reading up a script though. But still. I just wanted to say throughout the years, something has been haunting me. Basically to the point of just procrastinating on my main cartoons, and I know which is why they take an aeon to get finished. But there's also stupid ass drama that has been completely slowing me down to a halt and wasting my time throughout the years. I'll get to that in a sec. First, I want to get into the procrastination. Procrastination, burnout, is something that you'll never want to put yourself in. People I've known for years have been working on big projects only for them to update rarely, whilst it gets buried under the X feed. Now, before you call me out on this, yes, I am guilty of doing exactly that, which is why this connects to the whole procrastination thing. Getting down with work only to play video games and retweet stuff on X is a habit. And we're all guilty of doing so, since at the end of the day, it creates dopamine. Which is why I'm waking up either unsociable hours or at work hours just to check Discord, Twitter, YouTube, other social media, and to respond to people and keep up to date with things. There's nothing really wrong with that. There's nothing really wrong with the latter. Although with people like me who do suffer from ADHD, unfortunately it's a real challenge to get yourself motivated and prioritized on a schedule without some serious OCD and negative thoughts getting in your way. Sometimes I would have conscious thought, but at the end of the day, I've just been suffering off with, well, on and off with mood swings since July of 2024, and a lot of personal shit has been happening behind the scenes, which is why I'm not very active in terms of streaming or, well, being myself. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail considering it's personal. Maybe I do have Asperger's or BPD, I don't know. I mean, basically I just lost my fucking mind. I mean, which is why I'm seeking counselling at the moment to help and fix this shit once and for all. Because really, I don't feel good mentally over the past decade and a half. And it's just only just gotten worse. Okay, granted, like, the decade, well, it hasn't been bad as it was now. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it wasn't as bad as it was now. It's just like, I was less depressed than I was, now. That's the difference. But the thing is, I don't like venting about this publicly because it sounds very out of character to anyone, everyone, to the point of alienating people I love. But I have to get this out considering that my schedule and the cartoons I promised to release haven't been released yet. So, in the meantime, during the gap of January and February, since I've been working on that 3-minute commercial on Toon Boom Harmony, I've just been making short videos with text-to-speech AI, which explains my thoughts on the new Panty and Stocking series. And speaking of getting things out, drama, all other kinds of BS in certain communities that have drove me insane over the past years. This spans to around like 2015 to 2025. Let's start with maybe 2016. A good example is when I actually VC'd with a few people from deviantart on Skype around 2015 to 2016. Firstly, I didn't even think they were just one of the boys. Well, I did think they were just one of the boys, by the way that they acted. They said they were autistic, which, to be honest, it's not really a bad thing. However, it's the dark truth that surrounds these types of people, because I thought, because of their autism, they had some quirks here and there that could potentially, and I could potentially be friends with those boys. However, there was a facade, because since those are the type of stereotypical nerd or retarded type of people that you just punch down upon at school, or it's like the type of people that want to set the fucking cool kids table, basically, in a way. That's what I dived down into a disturbing rabbit hole full of messed up shit. Not only that, but it's an unravelly sad community. They are having harmless fun at first, which on the surface doesn't seem to be a problem, even though it's just special ed autistic kids. But then there's sadness and people talking about how they self-harm with internet drama, crying about domestic abuse in the household and to randos on the internet. That's due to shitty parents who, don't know a fucking thing about birth control, so go figure. Which I did make fun of. A good example, the one I'm talking about is Bun Bun, aka K9 Tunes. K9X Tunes. Or whatever his name is now. Although my mindset has kind of changed since 2017 when I made that video, so I don't have trolls remorse. I mean, 75%, that's kind of gay. I just won't do anything like that again to him. Well, just for the sake of gay ups or recording calls, just to mess with him. My time these days is all filled with nothing but work, house responsibilities, and taking care of my kitten. But either way, I wouldn't even do that, since I'm literally 31 years old now, and I'm a burnt out old man at this rate who just wants to have fun and not chase for clout and spend the rest of my fucking internet life doing gay ass fucking drama shit. Because I don't want to fucking die the next day though. I don't want to be like hit by a bus and then I'd be dying like wishing, oh, I could have fucking done all this shit when I was younger though, and not fucking clout for fucking locale shit. But whatever, it is what it is. Back to the people like Bun Bun or anybody who has the same similarities as him. The communities I've been a part of have no self-awareness of what they're doing, nor do they have any real-life experience rather than just going to school or maybe work, depending if they have a job or not. There's a lot of disturbing stuff that has put me off to the point that I just had to cut ties with people like Bun Bun around the time. Since people like him weird me the fuck out. Not to mention really creepy people from other friend groups that I've been a part of. Which really goes to say that people really need serious help. But at the end of the day, I don't think they need help. Well, they don't want help. Even if they do it the easy way or the hard way. And there's nothing you can really do other than just pity at this rate, concerned that they're just wasting their fucking lives doing God knows what. People like Tommy Pickles fan and the other train guy being John the TV show fan and whatever the fuck his name is. I just find it to laugh at, yeah, but either way, it's like they should not be on the fucking internet, nor nor would any of them have a fucking future. One is a nonce, and another one is a man-child who plays with fucking toy trains for toddlers. And wastes fucking time making babyish and laughable fucking videos, even after 6 years. Pushing 30, mind you. And parents patronize their child and manipulate them. Example being that, John has his fucking swear jar at 21 years old around the time, and gets $50 at the end of the month for not swearing. And their parents will take away the devices despite being fucking adults. Which I still think is rather disgusting and pathetic considering that they're adults. Those were the type of people that we were attracting around the time. And that is a huge, huge fucking problem, a huge red flag. But I'm still not done. There are people who looked at us as one of the boys, only for them to really fall neck deep into the abyss. People who I've been used to be friends with, such as Doodle Tones, well, to an extent. Well, I wasn't really friends with Doodle Tones. I was just kind of acquaintance there, here and there, but that was only for like a short, brief while until I started to fucking turn on him though during the whole fucking medical drama. And then there was darkscythe, Immature God, aka Shabib, aka Tara, but fuck you, I'm calling you Shabib, I'm calling you Immature God, I'm calling you him. Because fuck your pronouns, that's why. And all these other types of people in the fucking commentary community that go by so many fucking pronouns in their fucking bio. Yes, we had our good times, and yes, they did act like one of the boys, but to more of a convincing degree where it was actually legit and not try hard like the kid who wanted to sit at the cool kids table. But the real thing that was like skin off my back was the transition from being try-hard edgy boys who said slurs and made tons of over-the-top pedophile jokes to being this over-the-top politically correct snowflake that they hated. So in retrospect, you can tell that those types of people were only going through phases. For example, when Keemstar and Filthy Frank and iDubbbz were making edgy content, the same people I mentioned were trying to emulate that style because since it was popular at the time. But yet again, people think stuff like that is like, edgy, stuff like Leafy was like edgy, but yet again, I grew up with like fucking Newgrounds stuff, I don't know, Screamers, Drawn Together, South Park, Family Guy, like all that kind of shit during the 2000s, the early 2010s. So it's like 2016 edgy doesn't have shit on the edginess from like let's say to 2005. Like the 1970s was fucking edgy as fuck. Like like if you're gonna think the fucking like 2016 is like the most edgiest fucking year, like that's just sad, dude. Come on, you're sad. But anyway, around 2019, it was suddenly not okay to say all these naughty things that you had trolls remorse for over everything you did in the past, or else you're a fascist. If this isn't the definition of grifting and just, I don't know, lack of freedom of expression, cloud chasing, etc., I don't know what is. Basically, I got stabbed in the back. And they twisted the knife. They degraded into being more insecure losers than they already were. And that is something I've discussed a bunch of times. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm sorry to bring you the cold hard truth, but people on the internet aren't really your real friends, unless if you count some exceptions. The crew I was like hanging out with, like, manipulative and happened to fall into the trap of doing what every FJW does. They're psychopathic, insecure, sociopaths, and don't even care about you. Not only that, these people take the internet way too fucking seriously, and I mean way too seriously. Like, especially these days. As well as everyone says, no fun, just stupid fucking drama videos, autistic TikTok videos that everybody just like, I don't know, laughs at though, like a fucking hyena. Because back in the day, we used to just make animations like OniNG and Psycho Pebbles and just make grifting videos. I mean, yeah, I remember grifting. I mean, yeah, Lost Art, I know. But and there was prank calls as well. You know, Max Mofo and all this, and all that kind of shit. That was funny as fuck. Like, why can't we have more of that kind of shit? Now it's just cultural BS. People filming themselves at fucking cameras talking about shit they took last night. Because for some reason, YouTube thought it would be a great idea to make it so that if you're not politically correct, you'll get demonetized. So you're always fucking walking through fucking eggshells in terms of making YouTube videos. Even though that, let's say, YouTube takes away like 60% of your revenue, but I digress. Oh, and there's the constant infighting with groups over, pettiest shit to the point that it might as well be a special ed brawl at this rate. Because nobody can even act like a fucking adult anymore on there. Now that the Zoomers have taken over the internet. Speaking of that, something else happened in 2022 where I also burned bridges with another group. How? Well, get ready for this. By playing Honey Pop and other porn games on Steam. And just being the coon brain in general. Why? I have no fucking idea in this modern age of fucking Zoomers and, fucking... I don't know. It's just like, it's this modern age of the internet where porn is icky to Zoomers all of a sudden, and they'll come up with bullshit that makes no sense. Like, porn can make you true now or be a pedophile. Porn is left wing, is controlled by the Jews. I don't really care, and I never have considering that. Even in my middle or high school years, everyone was watching porn when they shouldn't be. Basically, any teenage going through puberty is a coon brain. It's inevitable. Nowadays, it's right-wing Zoomers who are acting as toxic as the left ones by calling for the ban of stuff like Elvira the Mistress because it promotes degeneracy and goes against the Christian values, even though they don't have much Christian values and it's all fucking fake LARPing bullshit, which really, it doesn't. And it's a pathetic way of saying that it's bad. The left-wing Zoomers are always doing this by calling people gooners and cornballs because they have porn accounts. So basically both sides are basically yin. Or yin and yang. Well, yin. And they never practice what they fucking preach. So they're both advocating for censorship over stuff they don't like. Go fucking figure. For example, some people who are whining over the pedo joke in the movie Airplane that came out in 1980. That was made by the fucking Zucker brothers. And I was saying that pedo shit is connected to some sort of Jewish conspiracy, and I think it was posted by that fucking, I don't know, the anime girl fucking Twitter account. Oh my god, this guy has a porn account, it's over! I don't even give a flying fuck about whatever or whoever has a porn account. Like, I don't care about, who has, any of this, though, unless this is something illegal. But yet again, why the fuck do you even care? Why do you suddenly care if someone's porn addiction? Because they retweet porn. Because that is such a huge waste of time. And it's really petty. And if you think that you're the most superior one because you're the Puritan and follow Christian values because masturbation is a sin, man. Let me give you a reality check, right? Normal people with lives don't care about stupid fucking garbage like that. And they never will. It's always been the same since the start. Normal people just want to shoot the shit, fuck a bitch, smoke, drink, and have fun. Nobody cares about this stupid online fucking SJW bullshit. So do us all a favor and just stop with your autistic conception over who faps the hentai and just focus, just focus on yourself, man. Unless you clearly have the same characteristics as an SJW, but only right wing. But somebody likes porn, it's degenerate, and it turns your brain into mush. Okay, but why is that my problem? Overall, why is that your problem? It's the same left-wing equivalent to how people would throw you out because you have the same opinions and say the N-word. Like I said, normal people wouldn't act as autistic as fuck over porn. They would just say, "Oh, it's hot," or they would just laugh, or just laugh and just make fun of you. Well, in a bantery way, but either way, like that's it. Being a no-fap Puritan doesn't make you based or cool. You're all losers, just like me. Just make fun of your friend for being a Kuma. Don't lynch mob him like a bunch of YouTube TV members would. Speaking of YouTube TV members, like I remember one of them tried to. Yeah, I remember one of them, like, had a fucking grudge over me to the point of actually trying to plant fucking CP in my fucking server to go try and get me arrested, though. Huh? Speaks a lot about them than it does about me, doesn't it? But going back to the Honey Pop drama, it was a huge steaming pile of autism, which included tons of backstabbing, defamation, doxing. I've been back with the group since June of 2024, but my guard is still up. And I don't trust some of the members after what happened for the past 2 years. Because, just like any other logical and normal fucking person, you could have just, like, I don't know, sorted it out on fucking day one and not wait for fucking 2 years to do it, but I digress. Especially when I had calls recorded without my consent. Basically, it was a nightmare to the point of those people who had, I thought were my friends, just happened to stand on me and do mob mentality over me, and my friends calling us pedos and kumas. I've been dragged through the mud a lot, and honestly, it was really fucking with my mind around a time, since they were cool with stuff I had in my animation, such as Christian Western Chandler, Rape and Stewie, but when we fell out, then it wasn't okay. And I was the pedo because I supposedly animated Lolly. This is what I mean when people change for the worse, from being edgy shitposters who posted the most fucked up gore from Encyclopedia Dramatica and Pixiv, from being babyish SJW man children over whining about fucking gore and edgy shit. Talk about practice what you fucking preach, man. It was really fucking with my mind, since I was just anxious. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. But, and you may argue that, calling somebody a pedo is just funny to you. Well, in actuality, you can get into serious trouble for doing that. Lawsuits and all that kind of shit, etc. People have been killed and hunted down over accusations, and it's a crime. So playing with fire has serious consequences? Huh. Yeah, go figure. It was really fucking on my mind since I was anxious. PTSD, paranoia over this bullshit for 2 years straight. And I felt defeated, and I thought I was the problem, and I was the one who had to act or make content like that said group in order to get them off my tail or potentially rejoin them again. I was, suffering from Stockholm Syndrome in a way around 2023. But this is kind of what I mean, right? When I said people never used to take the internet seriously, when they used to come in here and have fun, never have shouting matches over each other. Yeah, I was watching Killer Carrot and Darling Pink just today, and I assume they were never autistically infighting the same way our group did, because our group backstabbed everyone to the point of being fucking retarded. Outsiders are going to look at this and think we're all fucking autistic. Now we're just hanging out with people who are just insecure, depressed, and about their fucking life choices and don't have much of a real world experience, since I've become my own worst enemy for the past 5 years, since the whole fucking lockdown shit. Like I said, the whole modern internet groups is a fucking depressing fucking mess, and people just want to do things for clout rather than just actually do something that's actually creative. Now, now we're caring about petty bullshit like porn addiction, Palestine versus Israel, Gaza and Yemen, and shit that doesn't even happen in our fucking country, right? Because those people would actually go on about banning porn all the fucking time and overly fixating about banning lolly when these people are actually closeted pedos themselves. But you know the funny thing about this is? Now that the Online Safety Act is now in power, protecting the kids, as they say, they're suddenly against it. What's the matter? I mean, like, where's all the ban porn mentality, huh? Because instead, you've been arguing about this stupid ass bullshit instead of just fighting back against the censorship in your own country. So good job, retards. Well, give minorities and brown people rights, yeah, get depressed. You wouldn't even care unless if you're trying to make your friends proud or that you're trying to make yourself feel better. Right? Because why would you care about people like that getting bombed when you're not even affected? Nothing to do with you. Focus on yourself, not a bunch of people who are going to migrate to this country and commit crimes. That way, the world will be a much better place, and we could actually focus on shit that actually affects us. You know, imagine that, right? But yeah, God, you see what I mean? I just don't fucking fit in with the modern internet Zoomers at all, dude. I'm not quite sure how I'm actually going to take all of this. I'm probably thinking about taking a break. But I wanted to talk about one more thing without giving too much away about the group, right? Because I joined a server, another server who are full of pretty cool and mature people who helped each other out in a way where, while still being racist as fuck, posting memes, all that kind of stuff, etc., right? Basically, we were a bunch of millennials, well, most of us were millennials, who had something called standards and common sense rather than just piggybacking on what trend is popular for the sake of clout. I got banned and abandoned after I told them I befriended the other group that I was previously kicked out of, though, who kicked me out for liking Honey Pop. Also, in a way, I was acting like that said group in order to get back on good terms with that said group. I just felt like I was being spied on, and that I couldn't go anywhere without getting into confrontation. I even had cold feet about opening and sharing my Discord server due to, potential raids and other autistic bullshit. And that they were raiding my friends' streams because I was on it, and looking for my Facebook and mentioning the names of my family members, which totally isn't creepy at all. This is why, despite being friends with these guys again, I am very split. And if you're gonna say, oh, SJW means fighting for sexual justice, look up the definition and the traits and tell me it's not SJW behavior. Especially when they went after my former friends, Lazy Boy, Major Scroll, whatever his name is, and Coffee Lover, in terms of actually doxing and going too far, that is, or pushing your luck, or whatever the hell. The moral of the story is, it's just don't go hanging out with fucking Zoomers like that, or any other type of the autistic group. This may stretch to a point to say that this may stretch to be, the may be a stretch, but if I'm being honest, hanging out with Zoomers who work from the commentary community or any other type of weird autistic following they have, it's just a bad day from my experience at least. Because all you really get is an island full of misfits who parrot what you say, never think for themselves. Hanging out with them will make you feel dead inside. Because I was in these groups, right? Nobody was ever questioning or what I was doing wrong. Or questionable, right? Which goes to the saying of speaking into a void and a room where everybody agrees with you, right? just hang out with somebody who's maybe a bit older than you and has life experience and doesn't go fully autistic over stupid ass internet opinions, right? Come to think of it, when hanging out with the other group, I got fucking tired of the same ass beat bullshit of pedos being arrested and like other fucking drama that they obsess over, like the next Turkey Tom. Like when I first started YouTube, like all I really wanted to do is make something creative akin to black comedy, like drawn together and mixed with horror and drama genres and in general. Develop original games and mods for Doom. I've had huge aspirations, right, for content, and I wanted to produce for a very long time. I always wanted to make Jane Herbie into an adult comedy cartoon on Comedy Central around the early 2010s, believe it or not. However, there was a lot of shit that I didn't even know about before going in, because I thought that if Brickleberry could get on the air, so could my show. Since the media has been going completely SJW, it's worthless and is rather just used as a fucking hobby for like underground independent artists, which gave me a lot of freedom than you get on TV. I had a lack of experience about the industry going in. It's just that my main priorities were, in my 20s, let's say, were finishing Local Archive, which was supposed to finish around 2019, but instead finished around 2023 because I'm very consistent to my work and I didn't think that, there was any point of abandoning it or looking back on a script in a Google Docs and thinking, what could have been? And the whole fucking Honey Pop drama, which happened to happen, which to this point, I was just wasting fucking time arguing with my former friends by just typing out so-called walls of text to them in order to rebuild bridges again. Because they would question on me on why I made the Herbie Hantar music video. I had to over-explain it like I was I don't know, walking them through a fucking park like an old man, right? I really shouldn't have to fucking, explain that to a bunch of fucking Zoomers who don't even know what fiction is. And it's completely raised in the digital age. But at the same time, I'm glad I finished Local Archive from, 2 years ago, right? So I can focus more on other things. Thing is, I'm going through crap ton of planning and writing a lot of ideas down. I've cancelled reviews to focus on cartoons and stop focusing on my text-to-speech AI thoughts on new panty and stocking. But at the same time, I'm still willing to keep you all updated by new Demented Cartoons and hopefully upload new content to the Real Demented Cartoons YouTube channel. Maybe for the sake of simplicity, I'll start off by shorter videos that I've got planned, and then move to bigger meat and potatoes. That being of Starfish and Sponges, which is a brutal take of Mice and Men. That's like 10 minutes long. Mass Migration in Bikini Bottom, which is 30 minutes long at most. And there's Wallace and Gromit: The Lost Episode, which is the sequel, called Wally's Revenge. 2 hours, including the commercials that I put in. And that's basically about it, right? There's a lot more that's going to be scheduled in the future. Because I'm thinking about premiering and all that shit around November, December, and I'm gonna be making a trailer for that around around Halloween. Sorry for the Black Pill post. I really had to get this off my chest for the past 5 or so years. Plus, new short cartoons maybe be released weekly on Friday for the sake of hyping things up. So there will also be new comics coming out of Jane Herbie the Vampire Warrior, and Sparky and Dune Torrent Spoon. But after the Wallace and Gromit parody is finished, I'll be working on more original projects I've been also wanting to make. At the moment, I've got work, debt, bills, and taking care of my kitten, and I do education too. So the cartoons will have to wait a little longer. Take care, everyone.